So first of all, we want to create a new sketch plane where we want to cut this guy out. So we'll go to Sketch, and we want to do a plane. And we're going to reference it off one of the front planes. So we're going to bring it off the front plane some distance. So let's come off at 0.05 meters. So you can see where it's at there. So we'll just have that thin slice there. And we'll check that and exit the sketch. And now we want to sketch on that plane. So we'll start our sketch here. And we want to do it on this plane. And make sure we get the whole thing. And we'll come over to Assembly Features, and we'll do Extrude Cut. And we don't want to go that way. We want to cut the other way, so we'll flip it around and do Through All. And check that one off, and then we got that little slice now. So we'll save that. Saves it as our SolidWorks assembly, but then we want to save as our step file. So we'll get the step file saved. And now let's update it in ANSYS. So come up to the top here and right click and update geometry from source. All right. So we have the thinner version now. And let's see what happened here. Do we got all the material still defined? Oh, so it resets. So I think the problem that we have here is with step files, you don't maintain the things, the properties, the geometry, applying the materials. We're going to find the boundary conditions got lost, and the mesh is basically reset. So all that kind of goes away when we do use the step file. So ideally, you can use the SolidWorks integration, but if you don't have it, you just have to go with what you got. So that's there. Okay, so let's do the convection boundary conditions. So this was the interior, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's zoom in, get all those surfaces. So when I'm going to control and right click, or sorry, control middle click allows me to pan like this, and I just scroll the middle wheel and I zoom in and out. As you saw there, my first selection, I'm still selecting the full body as opposed to faces. So I just want to come back up here and change back to face select. And then I can click on just the faces now. So I'll click on all those. Oh, forgot to hit control. Lost all that. I did it again. And make sure you hold down control. Alright, let me zoom in here a little bit better. Control. Hold down control. There we go. Alright, so I'll apply that there. And swing around to the other side. And do the other convection conditions. And now control. All right. So we should be back to where we need to be there with that. So let's look at the mesh. There's a big question mark here. So what happened is the body sizing lost its selection on the glass. So we'll come back in, do body select on the glass, and apply that. And the dimension there is still good. So go ahead and update the mesh. And see that we're down below 256. So go ahead and solve for our temperature. All right, so you can see again the temperature distribution there on the concrete, and we'll zoom in here on the aluminum and glass, and we see there's a little bit more of a gradient here in the glass. All right, so the warmth penetrates a little bit before it gets cooled off there. At least that's where the contour is showing up, so that doesn't mean a whole lot. But overall, you can see it conducting much more quickly through the aluminum. The glass is hard to see because it's relatively thin, so you can't see. Whoops, you can't see kind of the same effects that we see with in the concrete. All right, so that gives you a sense of how you can have some of the control over the mesh sizing. So I want to do another example here that of a part we've already done to look a little bit more closely at why we'd want to do this. Some of it obviously was shown here. We want some more elements across the particular part to make sure that we're getting enough information of what's happening. And we're going to really show that in the next one here.